Hi guys, my name is Isuru Abeykoon. Welcome to my rig rundown. It all started in 80s. As I was born in early 80s, I was influenced and introduced to a lot of great music. The bands such as Bryan Adams, Commodores, probably a little later Guns N' Roses. So my first influence was my brother, who's 5 years elder to me. So he was listening to a lot of cassettes at that time. But later, I think I sort of found my own voices of my bands, my sounds. So in early 80s, we had these boombox at our place. So I was quite fond of listening to music, and my favorite instrument was the bass. So I was quite bass fanatic in that matter. So I was always, listening to the low end of a track. So I used to put, pillows and rubber and probably balloons on the speakers and actually listening to the, vibration of the bass frequencies. After that, I acquired quite a bit of basses. Halfway through, some of them I sold. Didn't, work out very well. But what's actually remaining today, what remains today is are the basses that actually I tend to keep forever with me, probably, because I love the tone and feel of them. And they sit in different domains in terms of tonal quality. So I actually use them for different kind of genres. I think I have taken some ideas from a lot of composers, musicians. So there are a lot in my list. But in that list, if I just focus on a few influences, I should say Jaco Pastorius is my main influence when it comes to bass playing, and how to look at music quite differently than just playing the root note. How you can start, how you can end, and how you can jump in between chords. What kind of continuing chords that you can play, major fifths. So to me, Jaco he's like a major influence in me. He played with the Weather Report and Johnny Mitchell, acts like that, and he added his own flavor. So of course, Jaco Pastorius, and few other bass players too. That is Victor Wooten. He's quite a modern bass player. And if you see today, there are a lot of young players that I see actually, including Indian, one of the Indian bass players called Mohini Dey. So she's quite amazing. Now she actually travels across the world. I think she started from the Coke studio, and now she's actually touring in US. Mainly, I want to put out an album. So it's going to be an instrumental in different kind of vibes, emotions. One could be out in the beach, quite happy holiday vibes. The other could be a little bit of mixed emotions. Maybe sometimes in life, you don't know where you are heading. So you're quite lost. Sometimes you're focused, you know what you want. So this particular album is a composition of all those feelings that a person would, go through in this so-called thing called life. All right, so this was my first bass. Crafted here actually, locally, and now it's actually quite dusted. It's probably I have retired the bass because I'm not really playing this anymore. But if there is anything that I want to practice anywhere that I go to beach or something like that, I definitely grab this. But in fact, I recorded the Island Dance, one of my tracks with this particular bass, with the exact old strings, because I wanted to have that kind of old double bass sound, not like a very bright, twangy, a bass sound. So, well, it's a simple bass, a box bass, probably the biggest acoustic guitar that some of you have seen before. The fretboard is ebony. I actually got it fretless converted afterwards. This was crafted by the famous guitar tech Shiran, who is quite amazing when it comes to crafting and making basses. So yeah, so she's my first. So I showed you the first bass that I got, and this is my the current bass that I'm actually using, my main go-to bass, which is a Fender jazz bass made in Mexico. I love the sound of the jazz pickups. Actually, these are called J pickups. These are single coiled pickups, probably assembled in Mexico. I got this tortoise pick guard. Originally it had a white pick guard, but I loved the color and the combination with the Sherwood green. And you can see little relic marks here. So it's manufactured in mid-90s. So it sounds still sounds great. So this is my main go-to bass. Yeah, so I'm predominantly a 4-string bass player, but I love the 5-string bass as well, because I had a couple of 5-string basses in the past, and probably hoping to buy one in near future, because some songs, some tracks do need that low notes. All right, so this is the other fretless Fender that I have. You can see it's a little dusty because I haven't played it for a while. So this is a fretless bass. So this is actually one of the basses that I had for about more than 10 years now. Initially it was a fretted bass, but I got it fretless I think about a few years back, because I wanted to get that Tony Franklin kind of a P-bass sound. Even though it's a P-bass, so you have the jazz pickup, so I have the luxury of doing a solo, just like a Jaco kind of a riff, if I want to. So yeah, I mean, it has the thinnest neck I've ever played on a bass, and it's quite heavy, and it's made in Japan. So this is the acoustic upright bass. I acquired this about a few years back, and it's also locally assembled. It's a solid wood acoustic bass with maple and spruce. I have fixed a piezo pickup in this, which is also that I've actually specially bought it from US. It's a professional piezo pickup. Learning the upright bass was quite challenging to me because I've been playing bass, electric bass, for now 17 plus years. And now really playing the fretboard of an upright bass is quite different to how you play electric bass. In fact, you don't play the ring finger up to about the 12th fret. So your fingering pattern is different, and how you pluck with the two fingers, so sometimes with the one finger if you're just doing a jazz run. So you have to play a little bit of those intermediary notes if you're playing jazz. So you can not necessarily, you can play jazz in it, you can play funk, bluegrass. You can slap the bass, and you can play, chicken on bass. So this is the acoustic upright bass at my creative crib. So we talked about the basses. Now we are going to talk a little bit about the upright piano. So this is a Yamaha U1H model, manufactured in early 80s, mid 80s, Japanese made. So I specifically imported it from Japan. I fell in love with this instrument because it's actually world's famous upright piano for recordings as well. So it sounds amazing, resonating. It's not too bright, it's not too dark, it's just like really sits really in the middle. And of course I can change the tone with the sound panels that I have. Sometimes I put sound panels just between the wall and the soundboard so that the high frequencies and the high mid frequencies are being absorbed, so the tone is a little bit darker. Disclaimer, I'm not a vocalist or a pianist. Met me and threw it up on Sunday. I got a lot of things to learn. Said I wouldn't, I believe in Monday before my heart starts to burn. Alright guys, so this is the kit that I have in my creative crib. So what I have here is Yamaha Stage Custom Birch kit. Wood is the birch, and it's just a basic kit. I have the snare and the two toms. I think this is 12, 13 inch, and the tom-toms, which I really sort of dig the sound, and the kick, of course. So right now I'm recording a track for an artist where I needed a little bit of an open click in that track, so that I have actually removed the reso head. So the cymbals I have, well, I'm a pasty guy, I hope. So I have the hi-hat, which is the Sound Edge Pasty 2002. This is an original 70s hi-hat that I got, recently from Switzerland. So it cost me a little bit of a fortune, but I really want that hi-hat to be very bright at times, so that I actually have that tone in this one. I have a couple of cymbals I got from Yamaha, actually. Yamaha Music Center. One is the dry bell ride, which really a sound that I dig pretty much more than the crashes. I love the ride. And also the crash. This is XZR 16 crash, and this is a pasty Formula 602, which is, I don't know, prehistoric. Sounds amazing. It has this trashy kind of tone to it, where it's quite important if you play grudge to punk rock kind of genres. So in terms of the drum heads, I have the Evans hydraulic heads, including the snare. I haven't replaced it yet because I'm still using the old Remo drum head. These Evans, I really love the sound, how it resonates. I don't know the technology behind it. I could see the oil marks in between the plies, so that's why you call it hydraulic. So yeah, I should mention actually CJ tuned drums for me, so I should be thankful. I should be thankful for him for doing that. All right, guys. So now we are talking about the mic collection. What's in here? I don't have a huge collection of mics, but I think I have the essential amounts and categories of mics, if you will, that I really used to record the drums, acoustic basses, guitars, vocals, and percussions, different kinds of, in fact, instruments. So I think every mic has its own personality. So finding that and really, capturing that moment, playing that instrument or hitting that note that resonance is quite important. So apart from the preamps, the mic is such an important link in this chain. So I'll show you some of the mics that I have. I have two NT2s. So these are the little caskets that I keep these mics on. So NT2s, I think I got these from Yamaha Music Center here. It's quite a versatile multi-purpose mic. It's actually made in Australia, so the quality, everything in terms of the exterior is amazing. And also add to that, I have a British mic, which is called Aston Spirit. It's quite warm and has its own personality for some vocals. I also use this for drums room mic, and I compress this the signal of this mic a lot. So it actually has a crushed, huge, larger than life drum sound. The other thing is you have to have a great kick mic. So I have the D6, Audix D6, the industry standard kick mic. And right now I'm actually recording a track for an artist where I use a very cheap mic because it works for that particular track. So sometimes you don't have to have expensive mics. And also I have a couple of condenser mics, pencil mics, cheap C2s, Behringer, and this is a Shure Beta 57A, good to use as the bottom snare mic, and a Scarlett bundle mic. Great mic. I use that for room mic as well as just to record some of the ambient sounds. I have two PG81s. These are Shure PG81s used as the drum overheads and also XY stereo recordings of acoustic guitar or any other instrument in that matter. So these are small diaphragm condenser mics. So finally we have the Epiphone Les Paul model. It's made in Korea, and as per the serial number, it's manufactured in mid-90s when they were actually making good stuff probably in Korea. So the workmanship and the color and the soba pickups are actually deriving from its mother brand, the Gibson. And I love how it looks, and I love how it sounds too. So when you need a little bit of more girth and low end, you can actually put it to the neck pickup and really play the power chords, and it sounds like totally T-Rex-ish. Okay guys, so that is my rig rundown. Hope you enjoyed, or probably I hope you're not bored anymore. I want to thank Yamaha Music Center, the management of Yamaha Music Center, for putting up this series, featuring the composers and musicians and giving them a chance to showcase their talents and their creative areas. I also would like to thank Anil Balasuriya for producing this series, and had a great time talking to him, and he was here just talking about the equipment and about bass a lot. And hopefully I'll see you at my Creative Grip soon, or probably somewhere when we are playing live. Enjoy.